I really love Dishonored 2. It's probably my favorite stealth game. I also really love Prey, a fascinating and engrossing sci-fi story full of style and ways to customize your experience. Until the date of May 1st, 2023, even Arcane's worst game by far, Deathloop, in my opinion, was an enjoyable, stylish, and just very good game. Their worst game was a very good game. That's the way I and many others think about Arcane Studios. I have anticipated each game they released, and each time that anticipation was rewarded by a superb work of art. I was, until the date of May 1st, 2023, anticipating their latest effort, Redfall, an open-world shooter about a mysterious sci-fi vampire plague terrorizing a small New England fishing town. From the first trailer, the game looked to be capturing a kind of Stephen King meets trap music vibe I'd never seen before, and in the play template of games like Borderlands meets Far Cry, both of which I have an affinity for, I was stoked! Then came the date of May 1st, 2023, and now I, and you all, know the unthinkable. Redfall is terrible. Like a bag of rat piss. The shooting sucks, the level design sucks, the progression sucks, the mission structure sucks, the story sucks, the writing is sparse, it's buggy as a deep forest jazz festival for fireflies. A thing I can't stop thinking about now, do you think they use their glowy butts as lighters when they're moved by a song? Probably right, but hey, the font is good, that's something. First, let's get the positives out of the way, as quickly as possible. If Redfall were the only video game, it would be pretty good. The shooting, while clunky, is passable in that you aim a gun at an enemy and it dies when you pull the trigger. Not a high bar, but it's more than some games offer. As for the aforementioned guns, they look the part of messy mechanical death dealers with lots of attachments, ornaments, and stocky builds that look right at home at the bottom of my screen. I was always delighted in seeing what new combination of parts would be strapped on my new shotgun or sniper rifle or UV spotlight thingamadoo. The weapons also add to the general vibe of the game, which is in and of itself quite spooky fun. I've always been a fan of mixing sci-fi trappings like wormholes and stuff into classic horror movie monsters like vampires or wolfmen. Why aren't there more werewolf games? Not a big fan of werewolves, personally. Too close to dogs for my liking. But vibes and decent-looking guns alone cannot carry. Because cats hate dogs. We're in a Cold War. That's great, Pivon. Anyway, as I said, it's more the fact that other games exist that is Redfall's downfall. Heck, if Redfall were the only game with its particular ideas and execution on the open world genre, or shooter open worlds for that matter, it would be an okay way to spend an afternoon with your friends on a rainy Sunday, or by yourself. I don't know what you do, but this is a world where Far Cry exists, where Borderlands exists, where Destiny 2, Dying Light 2, Fallout 4, Cyberpunk 2077, Dead Island 2, Dead Space kinda, Just Cause 4, Wonderlands. Truly, I have nothing to add that has not been said by the likes of GameSpot, Kinda Funny, and many more. And the original premise of this video was going to be a story about attempting to find a specific key to get into a specific room at the fish-themed record store. But incredibly detailed and extremely popular reviewer SkillUp already did that in the middle of his review.
This is a good example. Here I needed to find a key to open a door. I could not find this key. I looked everywhere, I couldn't find it. So I'm like, alright, this is an arcane game. Gotta be some other way to open that door, right? Wrong.
My experience skews similar to his. The game asked me to enter a radio station at the top of this record store that is themed with fish, and the door is locked. requiring you to find a key. However, it is the cornerstone of the immersive sim genre that there are always multiple ways to achieve any one task. Heck, it's the cornerstone of Arcane's own other games. In those games, I felt rewarded for looking around and using my imagination and using the game's own toolbox to find interesting and what feel like unique ways of solving any situation. Of course, all this creative play was likely already designed by the dev team, but it still felt as though I was using my brain to do things. Things as simple as climbing on a roof, sneaking in through vents, blowing up a door or obstacle, or my favorite, turning your body into a coffee mug to fit through a window in Prey. So, as I would in any one of these games, I walked around the building attempting to find some other means of egress, only to be met by a big, fat ultimatum. Find the key or stop playing the video game. That's the kind of choices presented to you in Redfall. So I did 2 more laps through the small but inconveniently designed record store, closed the game, opened the game again to find the key just sitting on a table that it forgot to load in on earlier. I then went upstairs, clicked a button, and then realized that I was 17 minutes closer to my inevitable death. I felt like a wet paper bag. A wet paper bag full of rat pith. The pith of rats. Thank you, Professor. This is where I wanted to come back and say something that hasn't been said better by others. This isn't my job. I play video games for fun. In the time I don't spend working, writing, cleaning, cooking, caring for family, I get to sit and spend a precious few moments with a hobby I love. So when a developer designs a task so mundane as to push a button behind a door that needs a key, or a task so mundane, so boring, uninteresting, and boring as to pick up a watch, walk to a place, put that watch down, and then hit a button to be back where you started, that's not just making a bad game, it's taking moments off the lives of its players. I could clean. That's how unrewarding and wasteful half the quests in Redfall are. It would be a better, more rewarding use of my time to stand up and walk over to a part of my house, pick up a sponge, and wipe the walls of transparent dust, than to play this video game I paid for. With my subscription to Game Pass, obviously. Had I given Microsoft 70 United States American dollars for this game, I would not be reviewing it, so much as weeping softly for 20 minutes into a microphone. If you'd like to know more about exactly the many ways Redfall is bad as a bag of hammers in which all of the heads fell off the hammers, you can watch one of the many well-worded reviews from people getting paid to make them. I just wanted to say to you, whomever you are, as well as to the powers that be, that this is not acceptable. This is an entertainment product. I know in my heart that the good folks at Arcane did not intend to reach through my screen, wrap their hands around my heart, and squeeze the precious spark of life from me. Were you going to say something, or were we just going to keep on going? I suppose I should end on a more positive note. Redfall is not a bad idea, and I can see why the folks at Arcane chose to make this. And I will still be excited for the next game they choose to put out. This does not feel like the new mode of operation for a developer I once loved. This feels like an aberration. And I don't want to discourage companies from taking risks on different kinds of games. Earlier this year, we had Hi-Fi Rush. It's one of the best action games I've played since maybe the original Bayonetta, and there was nothing stopping Redfall from being the next Borderlands or Far Cry. It's just a bad execution performed even worse. But did I mention the font?